courtesy of Macworld. Thought it would be a fun one to go through, fun one to go over. Top 10 worst Apple products of all time.
Ooh.
You know the audience loves something like this.
Sure, yeah.
Lou, why always out to get Apple? Why was it? No, man. I told you this guy. I told everybody this in the past. I'm not out to get it. It's the reason that people click on something like that is because they're so dominant. It's precisely because they're so successful that they can handle a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You there's nothing worse than somebody or something that's very, very successful but can't have a laugh at their own expense.
Right.
You see, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
A little bit of balance.
Yeah.
You know.
A little bit of heat.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be able to make fun of yourself here and there. Mm-hmm. It happens to the best of us, even the biggest companies in the world. Mm-hmm. And that's wonderful because as humans, it reminds us, you can't knock it out of the park every time. Mm-hmm. A successful player in baseball, they hit the ball 3 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
3 out of 10 at bats, they get a hit. Right?
Really?
That's a 300 average. That's a good player in MLB.
Yeah.
That's a professional player. That's the best you can achieve. Uh-huh. I mean, there's been people batted 400 like once upon a time, but
sure.
Even that, 4 out of 10 times. Mm-hmm. And then we get this idea in our heads because of social media and the world and maybe the education system. It's all or nothing. It's perfect or I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Get out of my face with that. You know how many times I screwed up, Will? You know how many times I failed, man?
Too many to count?
It's wonderful. I mean, it's such a thing where I almost, and this is going to sound weird, I almost enjoy failing to a certain extent because I feel like I extract that information. By extracting that feeling of failure in that moment, that information is now yours to own.
Yeah. There's a learned experience.
And if you didn't have the pain associated with the failure, the scar wouldn't exist as the reminder.
And it'll sting that much more once you do it again. If you do it again.
Oh, yeah, or you never gather that information in the first place because you never tried.
Yeah.
Which is even worse.
Yeah.
Failure and pain, there could be lessons in those things. Even for a company like Apple. And so that's where we're at today. We're going to discuss some of their failures, or at least what Macworld is calling the 10 worst Apple products of all time. We can see if we agree or disagree. Kick it off with the Apple USB mouse, the hockey puck mouse. This is from an old iMac, the colorful iMac. I agree with this. I think I played with this computer in a computer lab once upon a time. It's a terrible mouse.
Funny. It's circular.
It was circular. Oh, yeah, it was the shape of a hockey puck.
Right.
It came alongside the Bondi Blue iMac G3. The circular shape was a catastrophic disaster of design.
Catastrophic?
That's right.
It was that bad.
That's right. It almost ended the company.
Oh.
But no, I do recall people replacing that mouse just with like a more traditional mouse because that thing was such a nightmare to use. I mean, it looked cool, obviously, but that's not enough when it comes to a mouse that you handle on a daily basis. Funny enough, not in this list, but comes to mind now because of this mouse, the more recent mouse that Apple makes, the Magic Mouse, but how it charges. A lot of people have made fun of that in the past, how weird it is that the charge port for the wireless mouse is on the bottom, so you have to flip it upside down. I mean, it looks very strange when it's charging. However, even with that mouse, I have a lot of problems. I don't like that mouse at all, personally. I like a beefier, I mean, like you've seen these things lying around all over the place. I like a substantial mouse. But even that mouse, it's not the worst thing in the world because you don't have to charge it that frequently. So, but it's obviously still not great.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the thing that I've complained about a billion times, so I don't really need to go into it. It is the Siri remote, the remote for the recent Apple TVs. This is so easy to lose. It's got a touch-based interface with this tiny little touchpad. I don't need to go into it all over again because you've heard me out on this. This thing has... Apparently, they're reworking this, though. There's another example. You see, you learn something. Customer feedback, your own experiences after the thing's been on the market for a while. You make your adjustments. This next one, I had no clue about. It was some sort of a online service similar to AOL.
Yeah.
That they did. I guess it was called MobileMe, eWorld.Mac, MobileMe. I have no experience with this. When was this? Apple hardly put any effort into eWorld at all. It was an easy project to put on the company's chopping block in 1996. So who even remembers such a thing like this? iPod. Okay, so they put the iPod Hi-Fi in here. I might not agree with this one because I feel like this product, for the time in the landscape of wireless speakers that were out there, it actually sounded pretty good.
Oh, yeah? You had one of these?
Did I have one or did I think I was actually working at a shop at the time and we had it on display alongside some of the Bose competition. Now, this thing was heavy and big. And so people were like, is that a portable speaker? What's the deal here? It was about 17 pounds.
Oh.
But I remember listening to it and saying, man, for an all-in-one speaker, of course you don't have any stereo separation or anything, but for an all-in-one speaker, I was like, this sounds pretty good coming off your iPod. And at the time, it was like, how do you get your iPod into a speaker? You would need an auxiliary cable and a setup that had an auxiliary input.
This actually looks pretty nice. You just plug it on top.
That's it. And that was the 30-pin connector, which was at the heart of all kinds of accessories at the time. It did seem a little expensive at the time at $350. And then obviously it lacked some versatility because it was relying on this 30-pin connector. I don't remember if there was a secondary input. You had touch controls for volume, but I didn't mind this product. I think the problem was that this market exploded. And even to this day, we were just talking about them getting rid of the big HomePod because it's just so competitive. There's so many choices when it comes to speakers, portable, Bluetooth, wireless, that Apple's just like, we don't even need to be involved in such a thing.
Right.
Never mind having to have these things stacked up on shelves. They're huge in the Apple store. Real estate's a premium, and they're like, our profit margin's not even that good. So anyway, it's obvious to me that there's plenty of reasons why you would stop doing it, but this product doesn't feel like a mega fail to me like the others. I mean, the next one is an absolute mega fail, which was the butterfly keyboard. Again, it's been covered extensively over here on this show. And this just, I mean, I personally had problems with it. I don't remember how many units, maybe 3 units. You have to understand, in this studio, there's a lot of units going around. So it's not like our actual sample size was quite large to begin with, but still it was a high failure rate. This thing was so sensitive to any type of particle. I didn't mind typing on it, to be clear. It was for something that was so low profile. It was kind of amazing how you still got a tactile feel out of it. But it couldn't stick around. It just wasn't durable enough. Yeah. So it's one of their biggest failures, and one of their biggest failures recently. They had to replace so many of them and then essentially end up going completely backwards and going to the old design, which is where they're at now on the 16-inch MacBook and all the new MacBooks, all the M1 MacBooks and everything else. There's a service program in place, by the way, if you have one of these. And so definitely go get it fixed up. The next one is the initial launch of Apple Maps, which was a bit of a disaster. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah.
The initial launch.
I mean, I never used it, but I heard it was quite disastrous.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's an ambitious thing. You build a mapping. Is that Las Vegas, by the way? I'm trying to figure out what city that is. It looks like Las Vegas, but.
Outdoor elevator.
Yeah, it definitely is. Super ambitious project, a mapping project, and going up against the likes of Google, massive data company. But yeah, it was turning people into dead ends. It was, as you can see here, the 3D view was like it was like a flood, or it was like everything's made of wax, crayons, and melting. It was not a good look. It has improved quite a bit since this initial launch. That's important to note. Still not my mapping application of choice, but what's cool about this failure is it's an ongoing one that you can go and fix up and improve, unlike some other products that you just ditch altogether. Oh, this one is recent. AirPods Max Smart Case.
Right.
You know,
you had thoughts about this.
Well, did I? I don't even remember what my thoughts were. My experience with the AirPods Max has gone up and down. There's some things I really like about them, and then there's other things I hate about them. But for me, it's an at-home type of headphone. It's so heavy. It's so heavy that I didn't even want to wear it on this show for like an hour or whatever it is. It's great for a phone call or something. The transparency mode is awesome. The integration with other Apple products is so seamless. So there's some nice advantages going. The materials, the fit and finish, all this kind of stuff. Definitely the case is a loss. It's so much of a loss that people went out of their way to go buy and spend a ton of money on a third-party case, even though they already bought a $550 pair of headphones. So that tells you what you need to know about the case. And then it had the battery issues as well, that the sleep mode triggering and looking like a purse and just, I don't know. It became a meme, this thing. But ultimately, it's just a component within the product. It's not the whole product. I think that's important to know. As much as the case became a meme, the AirPods Max live independently of the case that they ship in. They're just too heavy for me. I'm a guy who I'm very particular about my headphones. And this is one of those situations where you watch a lot of the content that comes out around a product launch, and it's a lot of people rushing to give feedback because the hype is really high. And so people are trying to get videos out quickly. And by quickly, by the way, I don't mean the day of. Of course, you're going to have the videos the day of. But I'm talking like months after. I'm talking, this is one of the problems with the whole YouTube thing, is that it's what you really need as a customer, if this stuff was real, is what you really need is somebody like 6 months later. But you don't even care about the product 6 months later because you're hype, because you're a tech fan. Yet the life cycle of these products, how long you're expected to own a $550 pair of headphones, it's years. You really need to hear from somebody who has a variety of headphones over years to say, okay, here's what I noticed that after time started to be annoying to me, which may not have been annoying even for myself within like a week or something, or I just didn't use it in the exact fashion that turned out to be annoying. But no one can make that content, or if you do make that content, it's for a small audience, because by the time you're ready to put it out, a lot of the hype wore off. And guess what happens when the hype wears off? The views wear off. And then so there's just this almost unconscious movement towards speed, earliness, having something to say right away in exchange for the real long-term experience of having had something. People do follow-ups. There's nothing against it. People do follow-ups. The content exists. But by that time, many people have made up their mind on a purchasing decision because they want to participate, be an early adopter, which is part of this segment, which I'm a part of that too. So I'm just saying that's one of the areas where this thing, don't get the misconception about what this thing is. You know what I'm saying? Just be aware of the fact that there's a limited amount of information can be transmitted to you during the hype cycle. You take what you get during the hype cycle, but don't misconstrue it for anything but a hype cycle.
Yes. Everything
is controlled and managed, and the content's hitting you, and you see the embargoes, and you know what's going on. So you just be aware of it. That like this stuff serves a purpose in that moment. But the case, I don't know anyone that's really defending the case. I wonder if Apple would consider it a failure or not. I don't know whose agenda it was internally, this case.
They might tweak it.
Honestly, I think that the headphone itself is so luxurious and feels so not fragile is not the right word, but it just feels like a thing that you want to baby or protect. It does not feel like a thing that you want to leave lying around for whatever reason. It's maybe the weight of it, the materials, the polishing, things like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the real move here is just a real case.
Yeah.
Just cover the whole thing. Like, there's certain elements in a headphone that's exposed here.
Yeah. You want to travel with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it in your bag.
Yeah. They might have to just go back to the full kit. But who knows? Maybe they don't even touch it. They just let the third-party companies sell you that case. That moment. All right. The next one is the Mac Pro 2013. I was the owner of this product. I think I spec'd out like some crazy one at the time for the content.
Yeah.
I think it was like 15 grand or something. It had like terabyte of storage, SSD storage, which was big at the time, something like that.
Where is it now?
I don't know. Is it on a shelf somewhere?
Yeah.
I had whatever the best GPU you could get at the time was. Look at these things. They still cost you a few dollars. I actually sent one back. I had one with some issues with the GPU, likely heat related, because it wasn't there. I mean, it was a very ambitious design for something with that spec sheet.
Mm-hmm.
The little trash can that could. But obviously not a massive success in every way, or they wouldn't have departed from it in such a strong fashion like they did going to the old design, essentially.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a trend there, sort of, isn't it? When we talk about the keyboard and then them going back to an older design, sensing that what they were trying to do didn't work out. With the Mac Pro, again, you learn something. You fail, maybe it's not such a hit, maybe you see problems that arise over time due to cooling, and then you just say, you know what? We're going to give that pro part of the market essentially our traditional build, which is what they went back to. So, again, I appreciate those moves being made. How about a little bit of fun here? Do you recall such a thing called the iPod sock?
Is it a sock?
For your iPod.
Oh, no.
Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember.
Some of these ones, as we get further down this list, you almost forget about them because they were so short-lived. I think this is one of those examples. iPad socks came out in December 2004. Fit any iPod or device of that size and shape. They were $29 and sold in a pack of 6.
Oh.
I don't know, a stocking stuffer? The problem with these type of cases is you got to pull it out every time to use the thing.
Yeah.
Now,
and do you put it into your pocket?
Yeah. I'm starting to think that this could have been a reaction to the scratching chrome on the back of that generation iPod. That people noticed that the chrome got so scratched up, they were like, okay, now I go in a sock, then in the pocket. The chrome looked great, but it scratched right away.
Yes.
Anyway, that thing didn't last long, did it? What is this? Yet, and as implausible as it may seem, the iPod socks continued to be sold by Apple until 2012. Wow.
The most sold product.
Wow. So it lived for 8 years, the
successful.
iPod socks. I would not have expected that.
Array of colors?
But I never saw anyone in real life who used such a thing.
No.
Never saw it. This next one I sort of forget too. iPod Shuffle 3rd Gen. That device looks like a prototype, like not even a real thing. But it was a real thing. It was $59.
Oh.
$59. Apple took the shuffle part to heart and removed all buttons from the face of the device. It moved all of the controls to the headphone cord, which meant you had to use Apple's earbuds only. It was incredibly small. It was easy to misplace.
Oh, wow. That is small.
And it held 1,000 songs on it. Another thing that I completely forgot existed. Actually, though, it was kind of a cool idea. If you think about the way that people listen to music now, a lot of people just throw on like some sort of a playlist or even a live stream of music. It's just kind of random. They just want a rough genre. And if you think about the shuffle concept of not needing to select or have an inventory of music or a collection of music, it's kind of cool to just turn it on and play.
Yeah.
And they were a bit ahead of that. But ultimately, it was the management. They didn't have the music service. So you were still having to manage your MP3s or AAC files, whatever, and get them onto here in order for them to shuffle.
I guess it would be limited control because you would have the earphones.
You would have next, like skip. You would have skip a track
control. Yeah,
for example,
volume. Well, obviously volume, but
volume and skip a track.
Sure, yeah.
And I think you could use it not in a shuffle mode, so you could have it shuffled through the playlist, or you could have it in order of how the playlist was predetermined.
Right.
So. Anyway, there you have it. Those are 10 of Apple's worst products of all time, according to Macworld. Which one do you pick as the absolute worst, Will?
Definitely not the sock.
You like the sock?
No, it would have to be the sock.
The sock is the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see myself.
The sock is worse than the circular mouse. Imagine using that every day. You might die.
Well, that had like some sort of utility to it. Right?
I know, but the sock, if you buy the sock, let's say.
You can't wear the sock.
But let's say you buy the sock and you're like, what am I doing? This sock is terrible.
Right.
Well, it's like $20. You put the sock to the side. You buy this computer and you got the puck mouse and you're dying.
Yeah.
And then
like, I can't run anything.
You're very upset. You're very upset about that.
Yeah. I guess you would choose the puck mouse.
As the worst one? Let me see.
Oh, there's more. Oh, maybe it's a remote, right?
I'm. You know what? You heard me about the remote, but the remote does still function. It functions enough so that I wasn't like, okay, I absolutely got to replace this. The puck mouse, I would have to replace it right away. I couldn't get anything done with that.
Okay.
That would drive me crazy.
I hear you.
So I'm gonna put the puck mouse at the top.
Mm-hmm. Today's
sponsor, ExpressVPN. Kind of funny is them today because I was actually just using ExpressVPN.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I had some content that I need to get, region lock content. Uh-huh. And I just pop on ExpressVPN. And sometimes you're concerned, okay, I'm on the VPN now. What's my speed going to look like? Am I going to get, is it going to be buffering? What about the image quality, resolution, things like this on the content that I'm watching? But it was...
Just like that.
It was beautiful. It was butter. It was a wonderful experience. And I had the thing playing and then I AirPlayed it to the big screen as well. It was a lovely, seamless VPN experience. Courtesy of ExpressVPN.
Great.
ExpressVPN does not log your data. If you go with a cheaper VPN, that might be something that's going on. ExpressVPN developed a technology called Trusted Server that makes it impossible for their servers to log any of your info. Impossible.
Oh.
Here's the speed part as well, which I just referenced. It's a key factor. If you get yourself a VPN that ends up being slow, you'll never use it. And then that sort of screws things up. So you got the privacy component, no information being logged. You don't want anybody sniffing around. You don't want anybody snooping around on your connection. And then for me, the exciting part is unlocking this variety of content. It's available, by the way, on so many platforms. You're going to get on your phone, tablet, computer. You can even install it right on your router so that everything connecting to the router is going to go through the VPN as well. Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, Linux, or straight onto the router. Internet without borders. You want to experience it. You should experience it. Believe it or not, ExpressVPN is rated the #1 VPN in the world by the likes of Wired, The Verge, CNET, and many other experts. There's tons of service to connect to. You pick your location, whatever you're trying to unlock, wherever it happens to be, 160 locations, 94 countries, and unlimited bandwidth. Be like me, use ExpressVPN, and watch some content that is hard to watch. And it's a thing that by the way, I mean, being in Canada, it happens, man. We've all had this experience, Will, as Canadians.
Yes.
But wherever you're watching from, wherever you're living, watching from, I spoke in the past about unlocking BBC stuff. I need to see some BBC stuff every so often.
Yeah, once in a while.
So
crack it open.
Protect yourself with the VPN that I use and trust. Use expressvpn.com/LouLater today because you'll get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/LouLater. expressvpn.com/LouLater. Don't forget /LouLater to get 3 extra months free, or you can just click the link in the description. It has the /LouLater already in it. Go have some fun. Go VPN. New reports say that the Google Pixel 6 will feature a custom Google Whitechapel SoC. Oh, so it's not only Apple that gets to have a custom chip going on. Well, Apple's a big hardware company. They made a few bucks over the years, Will. They sold a few phones over the years, Will. So it's not quite the same thing that's going on here. This apparently is an effort, a collaboration between Google and Samsung to sort of customize something that sort of what they're already working on and a move away from Qualcomm. Now, there's some nice speculation in here. This article, by the way, Ars Technica, Ron Amadeo. Some speculation here that Google may be a little irritated by the fact that it can't push updates easily to its older devices. And having control over the SoC makes that process a little bit easier. And the reason being, this is one of those advantages that people cite on the iOS side, on the Apple side, is like, I mean, how many people are using old iPhones? It's out of control. I made a couple of videos once upon a time talking about the best-selling phones on Amazon, and it's all old iPhones. So people, when they have a trusted brand and they have updates that are promised to them, it appears they have no problem buying older devices. Now, there's a ton of brand clout associated with Apple. Google doesn't quite have that on the hardware side. So I'm not saying it's going to be a one-to-one thing, but maybe they feel like getting out in front of this, starting that process of having more control over the hardware could build a culture around their brand as well. Even though we need to remember, for Apple, hardware is their #1 priority. Google has an entire advertising business, which is their core business, and then this hardware is secondary, so it's going to be tough to do. The report says Google refers to this chip as the GS101, with GS potentially being short for Google Silicon. It's shared across 2 Google phones that are currently in development, the Pixel 6 and something like a Pixel 5a 5G. These names are out of control at this point. Documentation points to Samsung's SLSI division, which is the Exynos team, being involved. And they've been getting closer recently to Qualcomm from a performance perspective. You see some of the performance testing that's getting done. Previously, in the past, people would be upset if they got the Exynos chip on a Samsung device instead of the Qualcomm chip. But that gap has been closing a little bit. A report from Axios says the chip is designed in cooperation with Samsung and should be built on Samsung's 5-nanometer foundry lines. And it will have commonalities with the Samsung Exynos, including software components, but it will be customized to Google's specifications. So it could lead to unique features, but it also could just be a thing where it increases Google's ability and control over the hardware to the extent that when it comes to software rollouts and new features, that they're just more capable than they were in the past working with a third-party vendor like Qualcomm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how people feel about this, but I guess Qualcomm wouldn't be too happy about it. There's a customer there.
Mm.
But to the consumer, if your hardware and software company is sort of more integrated, maybe your experience improves.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Google's able to offer a product ever closer to Apple's promise.
Yeah.
It's possible. You were a Pixel guy.
I am.
So
Well, I was.
you're going to get this Pixel 6 or what?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Vanilla Android?
That's all it takes. You get Willie Do on the platform, and then you just watch the sales roll through because...
I buy all the phones?
Well, no, people take note. They're like, what's Willie Do doing?
Okay.
And then they
Yeah, that would make much more sense.
They're inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy them all, Will.
No.
It's not how influencer marketing works, Will.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. Some good news here for Samsung fans, people who may have been considering buying a folding device from Samsung. They have just launched a $200 price reduction on the Z Fold 2. The company's high-end foldable now costs $1,800 and comes with an additional $200 incentive to help spread the word. A referral program for smartphones? That's weird, isn't it? But with this device, it kind of makes sense. Because it's the type of thing that the best salesperson for this phone is your pal who's using it. And they're like, I love it. Look at me. I'm folding, I'm flipping, I'm flapping. And then you look at...
Where can I get one?
Exactly. And then they say, let me help you with that.
Yeah.
I am the referral man. Let's see. Current Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G and Z Flip owners can use the Samsung Members app to share a unique referral code with friends or family. And that gives both parties $100 worth of credit to use at the Samsung store towards their purchase. So it's actually $200 split across two people. However, I guess the $1,800 is already a price drop on the website. And then you include the extra $200. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, Tesla, they had a big referral business going on for a while. And you wonder how that maps out for smartphones. And in particularly smartphones like this, which are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where
Yeah, you want to try to subsidize it in any way.
Anyway, like $2,000. Holy cow. But anyway, this is better than no discount at all.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those custom colors as well. Well, how would you customize yours if you were to build one right now? What color hinge combo?
I would have to go with the basic. I'm very boring. Like
no
Just
custom.
like black.
All black.
Like this one right here.
All black.
Yeah.
Because you're aware, you can customize these.
Sure.
Yeah, if you scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see your different hinges over there. Look at that. Metallic silver,
There you go.
metallic gold, metallic red, metallic blue.
Nah.
Nothing does it for you.
Oh.
All right. Remember
for me.
when we were looking at that phone, the ROG 5 and 5 Ultimate? This was just a real monster of a phone trying to essentially dominate every category. Super phone, monster phone, gaming phone. Yeah. I was pretty impressed, honestly. When you think about a gaming phone, there's a series of specifications that are important to you. You're thinking about cooling. You're thinking about battery life. You're thinking about performance. You're thinking about the display.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe not in that order, but those are the things that matter to you. Well, the display is a no-brainer on this. You're talking about 144 hertz. Just a blazingly fast display. The performance is, of course, there. Flagship level SoC. Look at me with the coffee. That was super early in the morning. I don't remember when that was. It was like 6 a.m. live stream. All the products that we unboxed.
Man.
We got another one coming up, by the way. Quick teaser. Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
We got another early morning live stream. So I don't know. Maybe there's a giveaway. You should go check that out on Unbox Therapy. Be ready. Anyway, the feature I want to talk about is the battery, because this thing had this mega 6,000 milliamp hour battery in it.
Mm.
And there's a lot of people talk about battery life, even outside of gaming phones, but it's even more important on gaming phones because obviously gaming is sucking up that battery even quicker than a lot of other functions, even beyond video. And so this has a 2 times 3,000 milliamp hour layout. So you have 65 watt fast charging, 2 separate battery cells in there. But CNET recently ran a battery test on it and came up with some pretty amazing figures for battery life. Listen to this. ROG Phone 5, continuous video playback on airplane mode, clocked an average of 20 hours and 15 minutes with the screen locked at 120 hertz. If the screen refresh was set to auto, that's the dynamic mode that would be shifting depending on what's happening on the phone. It averaged 28 hours and 4 minutes.
Wow.
I'm saying it's playing video.
Huh.
The whole time it's playing video.
Yep.
Holy cow. This is it's maybe a not charge everyday phone for somebody like me.
Mm-hmm.
That is...
you should use it.
That's really promising right there.
Yeah, give it a shot.
This is the longest time for any phone that's been tested this year by CNET and the second longest time of any phone in the past few years, which actually that position was held by the LG V60. Shout out LG, RIP. Maybe. RIP, maybe. We'll see. They still have a chance to make the phone call. Remember, we were going to do the consultation.
Yeah.
It's a conference call, myself and Willie do.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag save LG smartphones.
Can you imagine?
That's right. Come on, Will. Remember, you said all has to happen. You just have to buy them all.
Yeah, I'll support the cause.
Buy the entire inventory. You're all set. Okay, now speaking of gaming phones, gaming in general, mobile phones are the number one device for gamers, gaming overall by a long shot.
Really?
Now, it kind of makes sense because of how many phones are out there and the global distribution. But actually, believe it or not, this study here is just the U.S.
Oh.
Coronavirus pandemic led to heightened gaming usage and viewership of gaming video content in 2020, with mobile phones being the most popular device for gaming in the U.S. We expect there will be 159.1 million monthly mobile phone gamers in the U.S. this year. There's only 350 million people in the U.S. That means practically everybody's gaming on their phones, which is kind of funny because I'm not doing that much gaming on my phone. But I got those other platforms too.
Sure.
If I am going to pick up a game, and who even knows what constitutes a game?
Yeah, because I was thinking like puzzles.
It's everything.
Like a jigsaw.
I think
puzzle.
I think it's everything.
Everything.
I
guess it's categorized in like the App Store and Play Store. You know,
89.5% of all U.S. digital gamers are gaming on a mobile phone, and it continues to increase. So like 1% or 1.5% each year. It's popular because it's readily available. I mean, this makes sense. That makes sense. It's too easy compared to other gaming platforms. Now, Here we have another chart, breakdown by age. Mobile gamer growth in North America by age. Look at the 2 to 12-year-olds. They're up 9%. 13 to 24-year-olds, less so.
Oh.
But look at the 45 plus.
Oh, wow.
The old elder statesman types. That's yourself. You're in that category. Well,
yeah, I like my Sudoku.
You're trying to stay sharp. 45 plus.
Yeah, I'm not playing the Fortnites or PUBGs, but
that's right.
I love a Sudoku.
It kind of makes sense though. That's the group. Yeah. That's another group that's been locked down a little bit more. They may have been doing other things for entertainment, maybe more travel, maybe more restaurants, and then they're like, all right, I got to pick up these games now.
Yeah.
Stay sharp. Anyway, that's a big market. Mobile games. We already knew it. You already knew it. What's his next one? Oh, the P story, the Amazon P story. Apparently, Amazon has apologized for lying about P. They knew about the P. This story, which we originally covered, was pictures were emerging documents and actual water bottles filled with pee, and they were saying, well,
Yeah.
these Amazon employees, delivery drivers have nowhere to pee, so they just pee in the bottles.
Uh-huh.
And
But they didn't talk about the poo.
the poo. No.
The one.
Well, that because that's not as frequent throughout the day.
Yeah.
You can handle that, but I guess before the shift starts, and then
It's coming.
you just got to get that on a tight schedule.
Yeah. But I feel like it's coming.
The story?
Yeah. In bags,
Oh man,
you know?
that would not be a good story. That's worse than the pee story.
Yeah.
But the pee story, it was kind of weird the way that they covered it. Like, they issued an apology, I guess, to the government, sort of, because they were being pressured by Mark Pocan, who is a representative. And I guess originally they said that never happens, and then more evidence emerged, and they were like, all right, sorry, we told you that. We know you're a high-profile person. They kind of apologized to him instead, and people wanted them to apologize to more people. I don't know who they're supposed to apologize to. It's a very weird story. Amazon is so efficient and tracking so much that they know everything you're doing on the clock at all times. And people are trying to get a leg up, and they're just peeing in the bottle. They're like, I got to get all this stuff done. And you and I were talking about how it must be so weird to be on this tight schedule. You're in this vehicle, and it's hard to find a public restroom right now because a lot of the restaurants and things that are open, they blocked off the restroom around here at least. And so you're thinking, okay, what are you doing? The side of the road? Or even that's even worse because then people are saying, now we got the Amazon guys on the side of the road every time.
Yeah.
It's not a good look either. So I was kind of confused. I'm like, they got to build restrooms or sign deals in every place they're doing business where maybe with a franchise, and I don't know which franchise it would be, that they would say, look, I know the bathrooms are closed, but for our drivers, we want to cut a deal that they're going to be open for them.
Right.
Something like this. But anyway, I guess this is a sort of admission that they know that it's going on, the water bottle peeing, but that they're not, it's not a big time admission. Instead, it's a very specific one to a specific individual. And I don't know how they would rectify it. I don't know how I guess you could make it punishable. You say, if you pee in that damn bottle, that we're going to have a problem. Because, and then some people would say, well, why don't you just shift the schedule? But I'm still saying it's tough to find a place to pee.
Yeah.
In general, if you're out in public right now, outside of driving home or to your office or wherever you do work, where are you peeing right now?
Yeah.
This is a serious question.
Everyone just has a bottle with them.
When is the last time Willie Doo peed somewhere other than here or at your house? Yeah, exactly.
It's almost been like a year, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe longer than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard. I know because I got the kids. They're always, anywhere you go, they're like, I got to go pee.
Yeah.
And you're like,
here's a bottle.
Nowhere to pee. Yeah, exactly. It's actually my car that's full of the bottles.
Yeah. You got empty.
I'm producing all the images over here.
Yeah.
So it's not as straightforward as it seems. It's not just that people are being overworked. It's not just that it's a super tight timelines on these jobs. It's also it's kind of a stupid hard thing to do right now.
Would it be offensive for Amazon to build like a little personal porta potty?
Yeah, that's what they got to do. You're right. That's cheap.
Truck?
That's cheap enough. No, not in the truck. They do stations.
Oh, stations.
Stations, and then the station would have porta potties. It's not going to be pleasant. The bottle might be more pleasant than the porta potty stations, but no, you're exactly right. That they would do,
because they're all about efficiency.
Yeah,
right?
empty parking lots in different regions, and it would all be mapped on the nav.
Yep.
Here's where the porta potties are. Yeah, you're right. We solved it.
Yeah,
there
you go.
Here's an exclusive story from Reuters. Your favorite news source. That's an old meme. That's an old Lou Later meme. What did you call it? What was it?
Hey, we both called it routers, didn't we?
You said routers. I said rooters.
Yeah.
Reuters.
Rootin' tootin'.
Reuters, courtesy of Reuters. India is offering more than $1 billion in cash to each semiconductor company that sets up manufacturing units in the country. It seeks to build on its smartphone assembly industry and strengthen its electronic supply chain, two officials said. I don't know if you knew, Will, but there's a real chip shortage going on right now. It's affecting all kinds of industries, not just smartphones, cars, anything with a chip in it.
GPUs.
I mean, yeah. There's a lot of shortages.
Consoles.
There's a lot of shortages going on right now.
Yeah.
And it's become a situation where places can lose some real advantages if they're not on the first list of where this stuff happens to be going next. If there's no preference there. And so in a move very similar to how India was incentivizing the assembly, or at least a portion of the assembly for the smartphone business, there's a feeling there that if we control a certain element of this, or if a certain amount of this happens domestically and it's incentivized in the correct way, then we can alleviate some of the risk factors involved. When we have a rapidly growing economy, we're going to need access to this. And if we're importing all of it, we're at risk. So let's just start taking billions of bucks and attempting to get some of that business to take place here. Some of that manufacturing to take place here. That's the idea of it. Now, the other advantage here is that actually the paragraph right above there, if you scroll up, right there, stop there. If the chip happens to be made locally, it will have its own designation as being what they're calling a trusted source. And then that trusted source product would have a trade advantage of being allowed to be used in CCTV cameras and 5G equipment. Because they would say, oh, it was manufactured here, so we know it's safe.
I see.
And so there's a further incentive. So you get the $1 billion, then you start making the chips, and then you get the big contract because you got the badge on it. So they're making whatever moves possible to attract this business to the tune of $1 billion. So you better get your chip company together and get your butt over there, Will.
All right.
Speaking of the shortages, it's actually going to affect the vehicle I want over here, the Ford Raptor. Apparently, production is going to be shut down of the F-150 Raptor for 2 weeks beginning April 5th.
Oh.
Ford confirmed 5 other North American plants continue to suffer chip shortages. Kansas City assembly plant, Chicago assembly plant. So this is also affecting other F-150s, Explorers, and Lincoln Aviators. This is the stuff I'm talking about. You have these chips. Think about all the industry that needs them. It's a lot. That's the next gen Raptor, by the way. I don't know if they're talking about production of the previous version or the new one.
Right.
But they need these semiconductor chips because they control critical systems, obviously, inside even in a traditional gasoline-powered vehicle. It's all type of computer components in there with your nav and Bluetooth and various other critical systems. Look at the interior there. How much better is that than the current one?
I can't compare. I don't have one.
What do you mean? You drive mine all the time?
I don't remember.
So what happens now? The screen got a lot bigger. Still not as big as on the Ram. In the dash, that's all screen now behind the steering wheel. See that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know about the Raptor, but in the regular F-150, there's a feature where the drive selector folds down completely flat.
Oh.
And then you can fold over the center console to make a large work surface in the middle. Like you could put a laptop there.
Oh, I see.
Or your fast food.
Right.
Folds over top that whole extra section there, creating a long table.
Oh, cool.
You're not excited enough for me, Will.
A little dining table.
You're not excited enough for me.
I really like the windows. It's just open space.
Oh, when you're up in the F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of glass.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's the new one. They're going to need these chips, though, or else they're not going to be able to make it. And I guess everybody wants some of this action.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of vehicles, this next one might be the coolest looking vehicle ever.
Ever?
I don't know. The McLaren Speedtail. Have you seen it before? You probably have.
On Manny's channel.
Did he show it off?
I think he bought one.
The Speedtail?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we have an unboxing video of the McLaren Speedtail. So you know that caught my attention. It actually shipped in a crate. And the spec on this one was enough to, catch my attention. This is obviously a very rare vehicle. And you can check out the way they did the unboxing. By the way, this is a $2.4 million car. Is that right? Made in the exact numbers, the iconic McLaren car, the Speedtail was quickly spoken for, despite the $2.4 million price tag. So, click there at this link where it says at this link. There you go. So it was posted actually to Facebook, which is a bit odd. And it doesn't actually have that many views either. So here's how it shows up. Check this out. Imagine this experience. A giant crate. And it's not like, we've done car unboxings in the past where you work with the company and you do some elaborate packaging that isn't real, but looks cool. This is actually how the car ships in this case, which is better.
Yeah. With the camera crew, editing as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, the camera crew is obviously extra, but this is how it's delivered to you.
That's cool.
If you buy it, it's coming in this crate, and I love this spec with, I guess it's like silver with the black on top, and you can wait to see when they pull it out. I mean, this thing, it's just got that tail on it. I mean, hence the name, Speedtail, but it's quite a cool look. Yeah, so this one was ordered by this company, Avondale Group, and I guess they have a collection of cars and premier collection. They'll put it back up for sale. And that's the thing with these. A lot of people buying them is to go into the collection. And it could actually appreciate in value because of how limited it is. What do you think about the look? Look, right there. Pause that. Get out of town. Get out of my face.
That's also what Manny said, too.
Will, get out of here. No, seriously. Get out of here, Will.
All right. I'm on my way.
What do you think, man?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Speedtail.
It's so
appropriate name.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it could drive in either direction.
Yeah.
Whoa.
One of the cool features I heard was it has electromagnetic glass or something like that where it can tint.
Oh, cool.
Automatically.
Nice.
Or you can control it, but it can become more opaque.
Depending on the circumstance, how sunny it is, whatever.
Yeah.
Tint on demand.
Super cool.
I like that. Chipotle is sort of embracing the Bitcoin thing a little bit. They are going to give away a bunch of Bitcoin. They got a program going on. What do they call it? Bitcoin. Burritos or Bitcoin? Which one do you pick?
That's an easy one. Burritos.
Really?
Oh, the site doesn't work.
Are you sure? Did you type it correctly?
I copied it.
Anyway, they're not accepting Bitcoin, but they want to, I guess they wanted to be a part of some of the Bitcoin hype.
Sure.
So they're just like, well, why don't we just give away some Bitcoin? You could win a free burrito or $500 in Bitcoin or up to $25,000 in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Maybe it's just a play on the B's, like burrito and Bitcoin. Like they kind of feel good together. Is that maybe what's going on there?
The B's?
Like that they both start with a B?
Oh.
Like the campaign is called Burritos or Bitcoin.
Right. Sure. I'll take it.
All right. But you're going for the burritos.
Definitely.
So participants had 10 chances to guess a 6-digit code for a chance to win big. And those who failed to crack the code were still getting some kind of special offer from the company anyway. I think they should just accept Bitcoin. There you go. You get the press anyway. You don't have to give anything away.
Yeah.
Or I guess Visa's going to take care of that for them, or MasterCard, or whoever's going to make this whole Bitcoin thing easier.
Yeah.
Speaking of crypto, Bitcoin is not the crypto of choice for Mr. Mark Cuban, who has once again doubled down on his love of Ethereum. He says, I think it's the closest to a true currency. Now, he has his own set of incentives, I'm sure. NFT marketplace site that he invested in, super rare. It was $9 million. And then I'm seeing he's advertising on his Twitter account this new site, lazy.com, which is a lazy way to show off your NFTs. So this is sort of like your NFT art gallery where you can brag about what you've got. So I guess this is his pinned NFTs over here. So it's like, man, a lot of... You can tell he loves Ethereum. It's a guy,
sure does.
It's a guy who loves Ethereum. You create an account, connect your wallet, and that's it. You get a unique lazy.com URL, which you can put in your Instagram or Twitter bio. And advertise how nifty you are. Boston Dynamics is showing off some very practical robots. No dance moves here. Just a robust factory warehouse worker moving boxes to the tune of, like, I don't know, 800 an hour or something. Like some crazy, it says so in the video, but this guy's coming for your job. He's coming for all of our jobs, Will. Can't you tell? Look at him. He doesn't get tired. Him, her, it, whatever.
Call him Bob.
Boston Bob.
There you go.
And it's just out of control. It goes bang, 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 bang. Get tired. Anyway, apparently there's some research, and they were asking what they were looking for the big requests. Where could robotics help you out? What are the toughest jobs? Apparently unloading containers is one of those jobs. And you can imagine if these are heavy boxes, that's a tough gig every single day of your life.
Very repetitive as well.
Very repetitive. So the robot steps in, and you know what? The robot doesn't get bored, Will. Robot doesn't get tired. Robot doesn't get bored. And you know what else? The robot doesn't take a lunch break. You know what else? The robot doesn't pee in a bottle.
Yeah.
So we can all complain about these bottles. And meanwhile, Bezos is going to be hooking up with these robots. They don't leave no bottles behind. Just think about that for a second. Anyway, yeah. So obviously, it makes sense. It's actually kind of weird that we didn't see more Boston Dynamics robots with an immediate practical application. Like, as much as cool as the robot dogs are, you see people showing them off what they're doing. It's kind of on the usefulness scale. It was like, they're mapping out this room, or you would see the promo video, and as cute as the dog was, it's like, it's carrying a single cinder block.
Right. Opening doors for other
It's cool.
spots.
It was cool for law enforcement and whoever else.
Yeah. But this is real application.
This is like all of a sudden Amazon calls them up and orders 6,000 of these.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just unloading containers forever into eternity. Now, one thing I will note about this demonstration, every single box is the same dimension. So
yeah, they need to work on various types of boxes.
And maybe they do, but maybe there are companies that they would receive containers full of the exact same part.
Right.
Or the exact same box size, something like this. But tremendous efficiency. Your days are numbered, Will.
Yeah.
Here we got a rough one that I just want to mention because I listened to DMX when I was a youngster.
Yeah.
That was when you were...
Rough Riders?
That was when you were rebellious or whatever. It's like DMX.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Stop. Drop. Shut them down. Oh, no. As the Rough Riders roll. Arr, arr. You know? Oh, man.
Sure.
Memories.
Yeah.
Anyway, and also Belly. That's another one. I would watch that movie. Belly, DMX was in that.
Yeah.
He's in rough shape right now. Apparently, his prognosis is not looking good. He had an overdose, and His children are flying in to see him. He was resuscitated for 30 minutes. Paramedics had tried. He's like basically on life support.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the lack of oxygen has severely impacted his brain. There's not a lot of brain activity going on according to reports. He collapsed at his home. I guess it was last night at this point, and he's in critical condition in the ICU. I suppose this is his publicist saying this or somebody on his behalf. It says, Earl has been a warrior his entire life. This situation represents yet another road he must conquer. The Simmons family, his real name, Earl Simmons, appreciates the overwhelming outpouring of heartfelt love, encouragement, support, and prayers for Earl. Earl is someone whose life and music have been a source of inspiration and strength to so many people around the world. It is reassuring to see his fans return that same passion and energy to him during his time of need. So I hope something positive takes place over there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, it's just a tough way to go out, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all tough ways, but it's just you do a lot of things in your life, and then it's just unfortunate is what I'm trying to get at over here. Now, he hasn't been in the spotlight all that much recently. He did have that legend versus legend showdown, him and Snoop. I don't know if you caught that. I think it was on Instagram.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had a battle of their hits. So that was kind of cool. It looked like, a couple of experienced, couple of legends, couple of older dudes.
Yeah.
Doing it for old time's sake. Bunch of people checked in on that.
Yeah.
Look at these old fits that he's wearing,
Yeah.
Crazy.
The baggy pants.
I look at this and I'm just so hot to look at that indoors. That last outfit. I am so hot to look at that indoors.
Yeah.
But
and it's denim too.
Oh, baby. It's a lot going on. But there's been many looks over the years, as you're aware. Look at that. Oh. See, now I could get with that look. Wow. Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully he gets through this.
We can't play any DMX right now, but I'll play some DMX off the air. And just best wishes. And I guess
just shout out.
I guess just root for him at this point. Root for him to some positive news. Now I suppose I picked this next story because it got me thinking of childhood hip hop stuff. But this is P. Diddy, and this is kind of a tech element to this story where he couldn't travel to his son's birthday party, so he did one of these hologram things. Have you seen these before?
Yeah, the most famous one was the Tupac.
I think
Coachella.
So I think this one's a bit different. It's a company called Portal.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a whole structure that the hologram sits in. And the way this works is for about $60,000. They dubbed themselves the world's first and only single passenger holoportation machine. And I guess for that money, I guess they'll deliver it. They'll make sure it gets there. Now, it does to us on video kind of just look like a video playing.
Yeah.
But if you're in the presence of it, there's more dimension to it. It looks like a person is in the box, I think. Or are they in front of it? It's hard to tell on this video.
Yeah. Is it kind of like the 3DS? Like kind of like a 3D layer? Like you can't really see it on film, but once you see it in person,
yeah.
It's just
of course.
It kind of clicks.
It will definitely be something like that. He appeared as a life-size 4K interactive hologram, beamed into his son's Thursday night birthday party. His son's 23rd birthday, gives him well wishes. And I don't know if it's a two-way communication or if it's just a video that's playing. I feel like I read something in here that it was a two-way, like he could hear.
So it's live.
That he could hear what was going on. Am I crazy? Did I read that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be really cool, though.
It does say Portal beamed him in live Thursday night. Live would be amazing.
Yeah.
He's actually there. And there's a two-way communication. Oh, it must be because there's a mic up top. Look at the mic. The shotgun mic. Oh, that's cool. That's really like actually being there if that's the case. Oh, I mean, not act, but as close as you're going to get. So,
so many paparazzi.
Yeah. The reason he couldn't be there, if you're wondering, apparently he traveled to Florida and there's still certain issues around travel and the birthday party was in LA. So,
right.
But happy birthday to Diddy's son.
Junior.
How about this one, Will? Since we're on TMZ for a bit here, how about an eagle hunting down a seagull? I don't know if you signed up for that today.
No, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, an eagle is a bird with talons and a sharp beak. It's a predator. And I think an eagle could probably pick up Otis over there.
Eagle? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, their wingspan is
You
intense.
ever worry about that? You're out at the park. You ever like look up?
We don't have any crazy.
Oh, it's just running along. Dude, in my neighborhood, I've seen.
Yeah, you got some?
Oh, baby. Mostly hawks. But I've also seen a lot of those turkey vultures. You ever seen these around here?
What are they again?
Dude, it is a big bird. And for some reason, well, not for some reason. I mean, they're not afraid. I was going to say for some reason they're not afraid of me. But why? What reason they had to be afraid? I'm not going to do chase it down. How scary is that? Now, this mostly eats the roadkill.
Right.
So it's not really a threat in that way. But it is a big bird. And you will catch it every so often around here. Well, you will catch real turkeys too. Never mind turkey vultures. Yeah, give us a size on that. Yeah, it's a pretty big bird. There's a human. There's a turkey vulture.
Up to your thigh.
Yeah, something like that. It looks robust too, and he's got the what would you call it? It's about a bald head.
Yeah.
A red. Oof.
Yeah, it looks very haunting.
Exactly. Anyway, so in this case, it's an eagle versus a seagull, and it's on a golf course.
Okay.
And of course, since you're an avid golf player, an eagle is a great thing in golf.
Yes, it is.
But an actual eagle is not something you typically expect to see on a golf course. So the last time I saw a bald eagle like that, I was in Alaska. I told this story already. But I don't know. Can you play a bit of the clip? You can play a bit of the clip. So the eagle is chasing the seagull a little bit. The seagull's just getting tired. The seagull's like, damn, I think I'm dead. And the eagle's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, matter of fact.
The eagle's like, yeah, it's just fine. Boom, done. Of course, the golfers stop playing golf. You see this stuff going on. I think we got the point. I mean, you're just going to see it sort of rip its head off now.
Oh, so it wasn't a battle?
Did I pitch it? No. A seagull doesn't stand a chance. What's a seagull going to do?
Oh.
The seagull didn't have those talons going on.
I thought his buddies were going to
look at this. This was actually in Vancouver. Look at that.
Oh.
Canadian story.
The seagulls, they flock with like a crew, don't they?
Yeah, the crew's not bagging you up. Even the eagle shows up.
Yeah.
But I've always been obsessed with the big bird, little bird thing. When I see little birds chasing a hawk in my neighborhood or whatever, I'm always mesmerized. Like, why is the hawk seemingly running away from the little bird? And the hawk won't bother to chase the little bird. They're too nimble or something. I don't know what it is. But the seagull, they're like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
You're done. Yeah. So anyway, you can scroll down. There's a couple of other images. Maybe one other key image there you can see. Complete dominance. Incredible animal. Incredible bird. I wouldn't want to mess with one.
No.
And Otis would definitely not want to mess with one.
No.
Tell you that right now. All right, Will, it's a question for you.
No. I was about to close it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
All right.
I had one more.